can only imagine how this smells. Good morning, guys. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Daniel and you are watching Triple R Farms, and it is Monday, September the 18th. And here's kind of what we got on tap for today. So we got some rain Saturday, pretty big rain over there in the valley. That's where we were just getting started cutting beans. If you saw in the last video, Dad was kind of getting his machine ready. He cut one truckload and now we are rained out, and he went over there and checked this morning. Still watering all the ditches, so it's going to be a little while before we can get started on the beans. If we do get started this afternoon, we'll probably have to go to another field where some more sandier dirt and try to run this afternoon. So here's what we got to do on my combine. I started getting it ready Friday afternoon, so I've done a lot of stuff to it. What I have left to do is just oil the chains, check all the belts, make sure the tension is right. Concaves, I got to change those. I've got to grease the whole machine. The hydraulic leak I had right there on that metal line, anyway, we took that off. We put a new O-ring in there Friday, so that should have corrected that. Guys, if you saw my combine in the last video, it was absolutely filthy, but look how clean Mark has it. Did an excellent job. So now we're moving on to my header. I've got a couple of things to do to it. First thing I gotta fix is I'm missing some blades right here. So this is the middle blade. I've actually got two. They overlap right here in the middle, and it's pretty hard to change out all this. But anyway, I gotta get this back straight. Then also I got some, see that little spring right there? Anyway, I'm missing some right here that broke off. We got to put those on. I don't know if they'll be in today, but that's another thing we got to do. Then the last thing we got to do is go ahead and grease it. We'll check the tension on the belt in here, and then we'll check the tension on the draper belt. If all that looks good, then the last thing we got to do is make sure we got the right amount of oil in here. And if we do, then she is good to go. So while we're doing all that, we still got another project Dad wants me to work on. The Landau disc that Philip was using the other day over there in the valley. We had a hydraulic cylinder break on it, and he said he got a new one for it. I think him and James are over there putting it on right now. Anyway, they're bringing it to the shop. He said I got to do some welding to it. So that's all I know right now. So sit back, enjoy the video, and yep, let's get it started. So here are the concaves, and what we have in there is called a round bar. And the reason is, see these little things right here? They kind of look like round bars. There you go. So this is the way we ran in corn, and I've had several people say that they run the same way in soybeans, just like this with all round bar in here. But Dad wants me to go ahead and change it back to the way we ran last year. And what we did last year, we had a round bar right here, and we had a large wire right here. And it's the opposite on the other side. We'll have round bar in the back and large wire in the front. So basically we got to take this one out, and we got to take one out on the other side and replace it with large wire. Ooh, I hope I'm taking off the right one. I think I am. I think. So what I didn't bring over here is if you have a punch, it makes this whole process a lot easier. You can stick it right here and prise them out real easy. Then also when you're going back in with the new ones, or the large wire, you got these holes up here. You can stick that punch through, and it really helps you line up these bolt holes. So we're gonna go get a punch. That'll do. they're not. Boy, I just smashed my finger. Oh, my thumb. And they're not light, they are heavy. Real heavy. Whew. Usually they're not that hard. That one was. Oh boy. Okay, so now that we got both of them out, it is time to get the large wire. And you can get them wrong by putting them in the wrong spot. There is a right and a left. You. What gave y'all trouble?
Well, the cylinder wouldn't move because it had gone down and hit this valve here, and it wouldn't let anything move. So I had to take these bolts out, drop that valve, then the oil would flow through to the cylinder. Then I got it up, then we bolted it back. But this is worn bad. We got a bushing in there, and you're gonna need to fill in behind it. It's the same thing over there. And we got another bushing for it.
You ready, girl? Well, this is not ready right here. This is the draper belt, and it has come off the track. Okay, so now we're ready to start working on this blade right here that broke in the middle. We gotta take all this apart, make sure the guards are good. Basically, I think I just got some blades that are broke, or knives, whatever you wanna call it. So anyway, I'm gonna start working on that, get this all buttoned up, and then we'll address that belt. I don't know what happened there. Get that back together. And yeah, we're getting close. Then we'll probably be ready to do some welding on the disc. So we got it all bolted up. Everything looks good. That is what it's supposed to look like when it has all the parts and knives. But before we mark it off the list, what I always like to do is I like to go out here to the very end of the header, and this belt right here that y'all probably can't see. Anyway, I like to grab it, and you can manually pull it and turn it, and that turns all these knives right here. And I like to do that just to make sure nothing is binding or rubbing really hard, because once you get up there in the combine and cut it on in the cab, this thing is going to turn super fast, even on idle. So we'll grab this belt, turn it back and forth, make sure it sounds okay and it is free. It's not hard. If that looks good, then we can mark it off the list. So I'm not really sure what went on right here and why the belt jumped off, but I do see some dirt back here behind these little slides. Right there. So I'm sure that didn't help the situation. So anyway, we'll slacken the belt up a little bit, and I'm gonna go ahead and get all that dirt out of there. I got the middle section fixed.
And do we have stuff coming to replace what you put on?
Yeah. Okay, here is the welding job that we're gonna do. As you can see, this cylinder should go right there where that pin is. And what happened is this bushing went out over the years, and this pin was just going back and forth every time we lifted it up and down. And now you can see we got a gigantic hole. Should not be that big. So orders directly from Dad is to do this. Put the bushing in there. He wants me to weld up all behind here, even weld the bushing to the frame. Fill in that whole gap right there with weld, and do the same thing on the back side. Also, he wanted me to put this pin in before I weld, because he said when I get all this really hot, he was afraid that this bushing, the shape of it was not going to be perfectly round anymore. So we're going to stick the pin in it. We're not going to weld the pin, we're just going to weld the bushing to the frame, but this pin is going to keep that bushing perfectly round. So we got to do this side. Also, we got to do that side right there. I already got the weld machine over here, so let's get rolling. God damn it. Probably not the best welding job I've ever done, but the main thing is make sure this pin can slide in and out. This better work. Like the third time I've tried to find the ground. Dang it. Not bad at all. Looks good to me. I'm cleaning out right here is called a stone trap. And yes, it's supposed to catch bricks and rocks and stuff. It's got a little compartment right here that's supposed to catch anything you don't want to go through the combine, through the rotor. Say you scoop up a brick with your header, it comes down the belt, comes down the feeder house. This little area right here is supposed to go, and gravity is just supposed to make it drop down. And you catch everything right in here. So the reason this thing was so nasty is because during corn harvest, you don't have to clean this out. Your corn head does not pick up bricks, rocks, anything like that. It's running above ground, but so that's why we hadn't cleaned it out. But you do have to clean it out when you have a grain head, a draper head, because it's going to be running right across the ground. So we'll be cleaning this out probably at least not every day, it'll be every other day. Let's shut this baby up and let's get to cut some beans. The beans are dry. It's the ground that's still wet, and he was scooping up just a little bit too much dirt right there. Now his belt's quit turning, and he's got a mess. We got to help him get unchoked, and then we got to get our combine set. I got a lot of settings I got to go through, and then we will dive off in there. Hopefully we won't do that. Well guys, that's going to be it for the video. I'm going to spend the rest of the afternoon getting this baby set up right. So it's going to take a while to get it dialed in perfect, but we'll get it hopefully this afternoon. And tomorrow we'll have a full day of combining beans with me and Dad. So yeah, that's going to wrap it up. Thanks for watching the video guys. If you don't mind, click the little thumb, means you like the video. And always, if you want to subscribe, click a Triple R Farms logo over here. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. It'll just notify you when I put a new video out. And yeah, I gotta watch this combine. See y'all on the next, guys. We're out. Bye.